Hi, guys. Well, I wanted to talk about detox. It's the beginning of the year, and I thought it'd be a good time to bring up detox and cleansing and why it's so important. But before I get into that, I do want to share that that's what the journey that I've been on. I have been detoxing since November of 2016. And the reason I was detoxing was that I had suffered many years with sinus issues. And so I embarked on a 90-day cleansing. No sugars, and just doing a couple supplements to help eliminate candida, that is the type of fungus that causes a whole bunch of different health issues, but mine was based on sinus issues that I had suffered, like I said, for years and years, even before I even knew anything about candida. So today I wanted to talk just briefly about what I learned when I started that back November. I did this detox, and I basically was very ignorant to in doing this and starting it because I really didn't know what I was up against. So just to kind of bring things up to date real close, get it done real quick here, not to dwell on every step of the way. I ended up doing this cleanse in February. So I did it for November. I think I was about the November 18th, around there. November, December, January, and then February, about February 8th, I ended up getting really, really sick. And I thought I was just getting like a flu. I hadn't been sick for I don't know, years and years since I've been eating plant-based foods. So it ended up that I started to feel like flu-like symptoms. And I thought, well, I couldn't understand why I was getting sick since I hadn't been sick for such a long, long time. So I said, well, I got sick. So I ended up just kind of feeling flu-like, and I thought each day was going to be a little bit better, but it ended up being about day 10, and I was still doing the cleanse. I was still not eating any kinds of sugars, and that's to be able to kill the candida. So I ended up basically was getting worse, and I was having all sorts of symptoms, and I was getting a little afraid because I was like, I didn't know what was going on. And I know that whenever you have the flu or you're really sick, as the week goes by, you feel better. Well, it wasn't happening that way. I was not feeling any better. My eyes were getting really irritated and red and bloodshot, and they just really were hurting. And my body was just kind of like, I don't know if that's ever happened to you, but like kind of like it had little jelly like kind of things coming out of my eyes. And that might sound gross, but it's, if you've ever had like something in your eye and you just kind of rub your eye and it's like little liquid kind of thing, that's what it was. But my eyes were flaming red, and because of that, every day was getting worse. I was starting to feel achy, and I had fever, and I was nauseous, and I couldn't barely even get out of bed. So anyways, so I ended up being sick, and I ended up continuing doing this cleanse. I still was doing the cleanse, and it was like about day 80 something. Maybe, I don't know, 80 something, 92, I don't know, I can't remember. I decided that I needed to stop this cleanse because I was freaking out. Honestly, I was freaking out. And basically, I was taking oil of oregano because that is like a natural antibiotic, natural, kills fungus, mold, any of those kind of things. And I was just taking that like 10 days at a time. So I would take it 10 days and stop during my cleansing phase. So when I was still sick, feeling all crazy, like my body was all out of whack, I ended up still doing that and still doing the cleanse, still, keeping up with the teas and stuff that I was taking. So it ended up that I didn't get better at all. So I ended up going to urgent care because my doctor couldn't schedule me in, and I was like, I need to find out what's going on. So they just passed it off like, oh, it's a virus, and they did give me some drops for my eyes because they were red, and so they just wanted to treat it like, some kind of like bacteria in my eyes. And so I am not a fan of taking any kind of, I'm more of a natural naturopath. I like to take natural home remedies. And I did that. I tried doing like tea bags and everything to try to figure out what was going on. But see, I was very ignorant. I didn't know what was going on. What was going on is that I was having die-off symptoms. And what that is, if you don't know what die-off symptoms are, is when your body goes into toxic overload. And so your body can only handle so much to get rid of it in a day. And it was just, it was trying to escape my body. So through my eyes, it was going back into my system, whatever could not get out. And so I don't even know if I was even going regularly to the bathroom. I normally eat and go to the bathroom like an hour or two later. At that time, that still was not enough. Because when you have toxic overload, which that's what the die-off symptoms are, your body, if your toxins can't come out through defecating or, going to the urinating and doing that, it was just overloaded with toxins, and it went back into my body, went back into my system, went back into the blood system. And I was very ignorant that I did not know that I should have been doing enemas to help eliminate as much as possible. And so I stood 6 months like that. So to make a long story short, for 6 months, I had all that toxicity in my body. I was very sick. I'm a very active person. I couldn't do anything. I couldn't exercise. I had to just be pretty much sitting on the sofa, on the bed, and, just couldn't get around and doing anything. I felt very faint. I felt almost many days in the day, I felt like I was going to pass out. No energy. Towards the very beginning, I couldn't even get down to eat anything. I basically just, when, family was home, they'd bring me something upstairs. When they got home at the end of the day, I just slept most of the day. That's how sick my body was. So, so basically I ended up getting super sick and made things really bad because 6 months I just kept all those toxins in my body. And then when I realized that I had die-off symptoms, I ended up doing a cleanse. And so I had to get past the fear of doing enemas because I was like, no, I don't want to do that. I'm afraid. And so I finally got past that, because when you do not eliminate those toxins, you can create more of a problem. You can create terrible things in your body, because just imagine, it's toxic, it's waste. And what happens if you keep that inside your body is 10 times worse than ever starting a cleanse. So if you're thinking of doing a cleanse, make sure that you are doing enemas, because if you are not, I would be terribly afraid to ever do any kind of cleanse that did not include enemas. So I actually found that I started doing them in August. I think it was August 15th. And I still am slowly coming back, recovering my health from from having all those toxicities in me. So it's been a slow recovery. I am feeling better each day. I feel that I can feel the change, but it has been very tedious work. It has been very stressful on the body. I can't stress enough. Am I doing everything I probably should? I am doing enemas every day for the most part. I may skip a day, one day of the week, but every day I do enemas. And then I also I try to juice. I try to drink juices. I should be drinking juices like all day long, and I don't. I should be a little bit more strict with some of the things that I'm eating. I don't, but they're good stuff. They're not like terrible stuff. So it's been a holiday, over the November, December. So now we're January. So now I'm kind of getting myself straight, but it's been a slow process. I'm not out of the woods. I still have a lot of health related issues. My immune system was shot. I'm going to share all the different things that I've been doing. in another video. I'm going to share supplements and things that I take on a daily basis. I'll talk a little bit more in depth of what I've added into what I've learned. I'm doing infrared, near infrared sauna that I've created in my bathroom because I'm learning to break sweat. I don't sweat, and so I've learned to kind of create a little sauna and make my body open up pores and sweat through the light. And the light has a lot of wonderful healing and helps detoxify. So we'll get into all of that a little bit later, but I wanted to kind of give you an update of what I've been going through, what's been going on. And yeah, so I'm looking forward to 2017. So a happy new year to everybody. And I'll be a little bit more consistent on what I'm doing. And the focus is going to be on focusing on the new year, showing you, teaching you, or giving you what has worked for me and what hasn't worked for me as far as cleansing and detoxifying your body, how important it is to clean your colon. I cannot stress that enough. If you have a clogged up colon and you have not ever done a cleanse, if you've never had an enema, I'm going to tell you, if you're having headaches or you're having any kind of health related issues, it can be linked. I can almost tell you for sure, check your gut. If your gut is, and you've not cleaned out, and I don't mean just like, go to the bathroom in the morning, or you do a couple of times. I'm saying a cleanse where you detoxify your body, clean out old stuff from years. It could be food stuff. It could be meat that's rotting in your intestines. It could be medications that you're taking. Those stuff gets stuck and they don't come out. So stay tuned. Subscribe if you want to be notified of some videos that are coming out. If not, come back and check in on me, and I will catch you soon.